A Florida man who is accused of trying to drown his girlfriend, a reality TV personality, during a boat party was acquitted last month on all charges. Prosecutors had alleged that Cole Goldberg attacked his then girlfriend, a Miami talent agent who appeared on 90 Day Fiancé Happily Ever After, during a major Florida boating event known as Boca Bash. Nearly 1 month ago, on March 12th, Goldberg was acquitted on all charges, and these are some of the photos from that day. In the court of public opinion, though, Goldberg felt that he had been painted as guilty from the get-go, leading him to become an advocate for people in getting a fair trial. Goldberg now closely watching the case of Lynette Hooker. You have probably heard about that here on Live Now from Fox. She's an American woman missing in the Bahamas after police say she vanished while boating with her husband, Brian Hooker. The husband told officers that she fell off the boat and was pulled away by the current, that he tried to save her. Brian Hooker's attorney says his client has been arrested but not charged and maintains his innocence. Cole Goldberg is joining us now to discuss this and, of course, the situation in general. And, Cole, it's important to note, you're not saying somebody is guilty or innocent. You're saying just kind of wait and let the courts decide overall.
Correct. Yes. Thank you for having me, Josh. Of course, in court, you're presumed innocent, but in public, it often feels different. I mean, that's what I went through for 4 years. As the headlines come out and all the publicity and all that stuff, you walk around with all these eyes staring at you. Everyday life is difficult. I walked around like I felt everyone was looking at me like I was guilty or a monster. I had trouble socializing, getting jobs, moving out to an apartment or a house, whatever it may be. But it was just very difficult throughout that time. And it's very unfortunate because, I mean, accusations and headlines are not evidence.
What do you think it is that maybe people misunderstand about all of this? Because they're getting kind of bits and pieces as they're watching news reports about a situation, and they make up their mind. They say, this person is guilty. This person is guilty based on what I've heard in a few news reports and potentially some of the misinformation on social media. So what is maybe a piece of information that you want people to know?
Yeah, of course. I mean, at the end of the day, headlines don't determine guilt. Evidence does. And that's something that the justice system has to protect. The stories can form long before facts are fully known, and you just need to keep that in consideration.
From your perspective, how much influence does media coverage, the headlines there, have on shaping opinions before a case is maybe fully examined in court, looked at? And your case, of course, played out over the course of, several years.
Right. It definitely had a major influence for sure. It affected me personally a lot, and I'm sure it affects other people in this situation. And they need to be protected. I mean, the media has major influence and definitely can cause a lot of issues with the public opinions and public perception, especially with a jury.
So now that you kind of have this perspective, are you watching a lot of these cases differently as they play out? I have to imagine that you pay attention to a lot more maybe criminal cases than you did prior to all of this happening to you.
Right. I mean, certainly what I've learned and what I try to tell most people is you can't believe everything you read nowadays. You just got to wait for everything to unfold, all the facts to come out, and wait for the day in court and everything to just come alive. And that's about it right there.
You've been, of course, an advocate here now for fair trials. What does presumption of innocence really mean when you're talking about in practice and in high profile cases? Maybe not even this one that we're talking about over in the Bahamas, but just a case in general.
Presumption of innocence is very important. I mean, formulating opinions and all this extra stuff that happens is a big problem. I mean, in high profile cases, you have to consider all options. I mean, I personally went with a bench trial for these specific reasons. These headlines and all these false accusations that I experienced caused me to go that route. I was worried about a jury, and that was part of the main reason.
How do you think really the court system in general can go about maybe making it fair when you're talking about picking a jury in a case that does have widespread media attention. It's important to note that in your case here, it was widely followed by a lot of people because of the connection there to reality TV. So what needs to be done to maybe ensure that it is a fair trial and that a jury is chosen of people who maybe aren't aware of the story or haven't already jumped to conclusions?
Right. So yeah, I think it comes down to just being more responsible with early information, the jury process, having faith in your counsel. That's just gonna be very important there. And again, I mean, even considering all options, I mean, I know it depends judge per judge, but going bench trial, I think, is a strong solution as well when someone is in a situation facing public opinion and the presumed guilty in the court of public opinion already. So, um, me personally, I chose bench trial for that reason. I studied the judge. I went to some of his hearings. I watched some of his trials to make sure I felt comfortable and I felt like he was fair enough to obviously look past all these headlines.
And as you kind of move on now, of course, you have been acquitted on those charges. I wanted to ask for you personally, what's next? Where do you go from here after years upon years of legal challenges, so to speak?
Right. So yeah, going through my own case is what pushed me towards wanting to advocate for due process. And I'm very interested in getting involved with organizations like the Innocence Project that focuses on protecting the integrity of the system. I also want to continue where I left off and go to law school and basically resonate for potential future clients that were in positions like this and to protect individuals that are going through the public perception.
All right. Cole Goldberg, thank you so much for taking the time to join us here and helping to discuss all of this and also telling us a little bit about your journey to where you are right now. Is there anything we missed? Anything that you want to make sure to add before I let you go?
Not necessarily. Just I want to continue to advocate and push for these people. And I'm sure many people are going in situations like this every day, and they need a fair trial. And the holes will get filled. And I'm going to keep advocating to make sure this is heard and happens properly.
All right, Cole, thank you again for being here with us on this Friday. We appreciate it.
Josh, thank you so much for having me.